Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations. I don't remember what was going on, but I do remember, weren't we like kind of stuck? It's been a couple of days since I recorded the last video. But like I kind of remember I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. What do you mean by a bad badger costume is missing? Or no, maybe we did. It was at the end of the last video. We were just walking around and I didn't know what to do. Because I think we had to slam two things together that didn't quite make sense. Or they didn't seem that connected. Why, just what I said, sir. We're one bad badger short. Counting the spares, leave two of each costume on hand at all times. Like the pistol grip pump. Okay, so one of them is walking around in the park. The other should be in that room. Actually, both of them should be in that room. Huh? What do you mean? Normally, we don't use the bad badger costumes. In fact, we only use them during a certain event at a set time each day. He's too unruly to let roam free, normally. It's the stage show where the bad badger wreaks havoc around the park. And the other badgers must work together to apprehend him, sir. I do like this man's just like, I'm gonna fucking punch him. I'm gonna fucking get his ass. I'm speechless that such a show exists. Brother, if you ever experience culture, you would know that seems pretty freaking normal, actually. Well, sir, I was just trying to explain to you the only time we use that costume. Then doesn't that make it near impossible to take pictures of the bad badger? Yes, it's a scam. Well, actually, I mean, it wouldn't be near impossible. It's a set show every day, right? When did it say they do it? Yeah, at a set time each day? Shouldn't be that hard. I mean, presumably, if you're going to the theme park, you're going to be there for, like, most of the day. Long enough to see, you know, the stage show. Which is also presumably one of the reasons you'd be going to the Bad Badger Park. Actually, it's the gate. No, it's the Bad Badger Park. He took it over. Look at him. You gonna tell this man it ain't his park? Dude's got a gun. Personally, I can't believe that it's this close to showtime and there's no costume. Oh dear, what am I to do, sir? All this basically means is that the kidnappers stole 4 costumes in total. Are you saying there are 4 kidnappers? I don't think that's very likely. Oh? I mean, would the kidnappee if the kidnappee is in on it, would they be considered a kidnapper? I mean, I guess not. Recall the costumes for a minute. I don't remember what's going on in this case, Edgeworth. I don't recall anything. The stolen ones, you mean? What proves that a 4th kidnapper does not exist? I mean, isn't it just that there's a pink one still? Because these are the ones, so these 3 are spoken for by actual real human beings. Well, not these 3. This one is meant to be here, and these are all meant to be here. Kidnapper, 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 Because I mean, yeah, if you were gonna steal 4, you would just take these 4. Wait, what's the question again? What proves a 4th kidnapper does not exist? I mean, literally the only thing out of place is the spare, so I guess it has to be that, but I'm not entirely sure why it's that.
Take that!
If you had 4 people and you wanted to steal a 4th costume, wouldn't you naturally go for the full set and steal a pink badger costume instead? Or maybe they just wanted to throw you off. Yeah, that makes sense. And yet the kidnappers decided to steal another bad badger. Throw him off your trail? So that non-ace investigators would fall into their dastardly trap? I believe the culprits needed 2 bad badger costumes, but the question is why? Or, I mean, honestly, the real answer would be none of them wanted to get in the lady badger costume because they're insecure about their masculinity. Like, that's the real reason. Edgy boy, what? Sir, what do I do? I was wondering if you don't mind, Mr. Proto Badger, how did you know my name? You're pretty famous, sir. I would think that most people would know who you are. Is there a famous prosecutor in the world? I don't think there is, man. I mean, maybe in this universe where courtroom trials are a bit more showy, but like, I don't think anybody, like if you were to do like ask 100 people on the street, name a prosecutor who is only a prosecutor, no shot. Like maybe, you know, some cases for like, you know, there is kind of like a prosecutor to politician pipeline. So in that case, maybe you'd be able to name a few. But like if you were to go like by country, you know, ask your local country's populace, hey, name somebody who's an active prosecutor. I don't think you're gonna, I think maybe like 5% of people would even be able to name anyone. Famous? Me? Absolutely, sir. You're always very active in the community, I hear. What the fuck are you talking about? Edgeworth is not active in the community. Dude was just awed by the idea of a stage show at a theme park. Didn't know you were such a celebrity, Mr. Edgeworth. I feel like I've met this person before. Maybe it's my imagination? I mean, presumably it's somebody we know. Everybody else has been. I don't know who it is off the top of my head, but... Other than, I mean, he's too skinny. Gumshoe's a little bit thicker. He's a little bit more of a wide boy, you know what I'm saying? But I did fully expect them to put Gumshoe in a badger costume. He would probably be the bad badger. That or they'd make, well actually they'd probably make him dress up as Lady Badger because that's like, oh man, isn't that so humiliating? But Gumshoe's he's a real G. He wouldn't even mind, right? The second bad badger costume, I believe it may be closer at hand than we think. Completely forgot about that piece of information. What do you mean? The costume in the trash. Wouldn't you say it's wearing some very telltale pants? You're right. Let's get it out of there and take a look. As I suspected, it's the bad badger costume. Minus the head. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Edgeworth during foreplay. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence No. I just wanted to look at it, my bad. Look, its hand is hurt. It looks more like something was ripped off of it. Wonder why this bad badger costume's right hand is torn up like that. Maybe it's a flesh wound from a fight with the blue badger. I always knew the blue badger was one ferocious beast. I somehow doubt that even real badgers are as bloodthirsty as that, Kay? Oh no, Edgeworth, you're not in touch with mid-2000s internet humor? Late 2000s? That's like a 2007 video, right? Something like that. I mean the head. Like I shouldn't even have to. Well, I mean I don't know what he's looking for actually. What are you talking about? Are you gonna fill me in or not? Okay. I was kind of like, I didn't know if I needed to do that, but because I feel like it shouldn't. I shouldn't have to be like, hey, that's the head of the costume, but. And is there anything else? Can I click on anything outside? There are 3 folding chairs over on this side. I can't say they were arranged nearly as nicely as their siblings to the right. You think so? I think they're just fine, like a bunch of used chairs ought to be. I'm beginning to think you must keep a most chaotic room. Hey, don't slander and sigh at me all in one shot. True, that's pretty true. Unused folding chairs leaning against the wall in their folded state. This isn't even their final form. The ones over the table probably came from this stack. Okay, so something to do with the hand. And there's a pendant. There's a broken prop sword. There's a love letter. There's a dossier. Anything with... The victim was killed elsewhere and then moved, which implies there should be evidence of... There shouldn't be anything with his hand. I mean, there's a pendant. It's the victim's pendant, which is shaped like a horse. It's got a real dignified look on its face. That makes it worth all the more. Mr. Edgeworth? What? Did you find an important piece of evidence that will let me solve my case? This is made of platinum silver. That makes this thing super valuable. I've seen this type of jewelry at a lot of stores before, so I know it when I see it. Okay, if you ever laid so much as a finger on those pieces of jewelry... What? Me, I'd never do something like that. Is it possible she has never wanted to steal from a jewelry store before? Well, I mean, it depends on the jewelry store. If it's like, you know, your local community jewelry store, you shouldn't steal from them. But if it's like Big Jeweler... I mean, you still shouldn't steal from them, but it's less morally objectable. The name Colin Devourer is engraved here. I really admire people who carve their own names into a pendant. I got no opinion, one way or the other. And why would that be? You have no imagination, Mr. Edgeworth. You ever think that maybe people want to have their loved ones always nearby? It's not as if I have a wedding band, and I have no interest in accessorizing. I suppose. Anyway, you know what? More than wearing flashy accessories, I'd rather be engraving my name into every treasure I can find all around the world. A sign of affection is one thing, but blatant vandalizing is just a bit different. But also, I mean, it's not his loved one's name, it's freaking him, presumably. Because, I mean, that looks like the dude, to me. Dominant hand right. I mean, this must be important. Or else why would it be there? It just seems like kind of like just a random thing to have. And I mean, it's right hand. But... that seems so... I mean, if it was like the left hand, maybe. At least it's something like slightly unusual. But... connected to any of the evidence I hold. I mean, there's the thing with the gun. He's a vile criminal with a gun. I have no clue what they're looking for, honestly. I'm gonna try this, and then we could try the thing with the hand, which doesn't make any fucking sense. Okay, I believe what we have here is an inconsistency. I was supposed to be like the gun's like sewn into it or something. It's not a prop. That doesn't make any sense though. Between what? Look carefully. Our costume is not holding something in its right hand that it should be. Oh, the gun! Precisely. The Bad Badger was designed to always hold a gun in his right hand. However... You there! Did you remove the gun from this Bad Badger's right hand? No, I did not, sir. The gun is supposed to be securely attached to the costume. As I thought, the rip itself confirms my hypothesis the gun was forcibly removed. But... Edgy, I'm gonna keep it real with you, that shit doesn't make any goddamn sense. A, the fact that it's stitched into there and not just like a prop you carry around is weird. It'd be very unwieldy. B, why the fuck would you steal a cloth gun? Mr. Proto Badger, the gun is of course not a functioning, because it's like, if it's sewn into there, then that makes it seem like it's just like part of the suit, i.e. it would be made of like, you know, a cloth type material or something. Because if it was like a prop, I could see it's like, oh, it kind of looks like a gun. You could use it to like intimidate somebody, but... The gun is of course not a functioning weapon, correct? Absolutely not, sir. It's just a model gun. It can fire blanks. We need to use them for the stage show. Seems our kidnappers also had a need for the model gun, my dear costumed friend. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, it seems kind of silly, but... I mean, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, but... I think we're about done with this room. So what's next? We found a few answers, but there are still a few things left that we have to ask a certain person about. Let's go, Kay! The Wild Wild West area. Mr. Edgeworth, sir! You gotta hurry, sir, come on! What is it, detective? They found a blue badger costume down in front of the main gate, sir. What? Isn't that one of the kidnappers was wearing? You think it would count as a double dip for badger get? Bingo! That's why you gotta come to the main gate with me right now. If we hurry, there still might be time to get there before Wolf Boy does, sir. Alright, let's make haste to the main gate. Oh, look at them, they running, man. To be continued, by the way. Are we laddering it up now? I would like to save. We are on the ladder. Final confrontation former. So it's not the final confrontation then. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe? Just another side of the fountain, sir. By God, they decapitated him. Was it out here in the open all along? No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. We moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. Let's get down to it. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. This headpiece. This must be the Blue Badger Officer Meekins crossed paths with. The nerve of someone throwing a Blue Badger away like this. I worked so hard to create this character, it's like my baby. How could someone do this, sir? How? Detective, how about channeling your anger towards finding the culprits? Good idea. I'll wait till I get my hands on. So, who are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Why don't you try figuring that out yourself for a change? It's the Blue Badger's body section. What a waste. How so? Going through all the trouble to steal this costume only to throw it away in the end? A real thief wouldn't do such a thing. Nope, no way. I wouldn't think a real thief would steal something so gaudy to begin with. What do we have here? It's another pendant. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? And hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver too. Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon. So maybe it's like the kid's pendant or something? Is it possible that these two... Hold it right there! Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You should know how to cross the line, don't you? A pendant, huh? This is a very decisive piece of evidence. Found on you. Mighty suspicious, don't you think? I've heard about you, Edgeworth. I've heard you keep narrowly getting away from murder accusations. Well, not this time. How can you tell? Look here and read what you see. Yep. Lauren. Hey, it's a name that's engraved on this. Lauren D. Presumably girl's name is Lauren. I don't actually remember. What is your name, by the way? Yeah, Lauren. Okay. And then the other dude's name is Deacon. Aha! We got you now, Miss Kidnapper. You don't understand. Lolly, Can't believe you're one of my kidnappers. Lance. You're kidding. Napping. Miss Pomps is one of the kidnappers? Yes. It was me. I held Lance hostage. So Miss Pomps is one of the kidnappers. But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved or over. Guys, case closed. Bebs are on me tonight. Not really, they're on the department, but I'm gonna say it's me. Get the car ready, and I mean the special one for this young lady. Yeah. Again, Mr. Prosecutor, what is it this time? Are you proposing that Miss Pomps is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect. We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. Literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Your conscious police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are. Who are you calling a sham? Also, can you even arrest somebody? I mean, I know you're supposed to be like an Interpol agent and like theoretically they're an international organization, but like, I don't think you just go in and like hijack a murder investigation, sir. Officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. Officer Meekins have been cleared of all charges, I see. And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? Death stare. Death stare. I'm causing your heart to slow down. Miss Pops, did you really kill Mr. Deacon? That'd be kind of fucked up, but seems unlikely. Yes, I killed him. I can't believe it. Thanks for the confession. Agent Long, it's much too early to declare this case closed. I think it would be funny if that is just actually the answer and Edgeworth is just like, no, this can't be too easy and he has to prolong it. That would subvert my expectations. Look at you, so sure of yourself. We got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? It's Lauren Pops. I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that has happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder. But why? I'm a kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough? I mean, you probably shouldn't do that. It would look all weird and uneven. It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that is the truth. In orange text, that's how you know it's important. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't? I've had a change of heart. Think I'd enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear all about the evil deeds you committed today. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Amano would pay anything to get his son back after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. Wrong. There. You satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes a second time. At least you got the guts to admit what you done. Can at least respect that much. Miss Pomps, is what you said really the truth? Yes, it is. If that's the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. Or nothing but it. Because there's something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession. I mean, this is another one where it's like we know that they're daughter and father, but I don't know how to get there. Because, I mean, that's what makes it unlikely that he would have tried to kill her. I mean, I guess in theory they could not know, but I mean, I don't know. So I think there's, I guess, three outcomes. A, kidnapping faked. B, kidnapping not faked. In the kidnapping not faked scenario, it's that her and her dad are either trying to get revenge or, like, and they're just completely, you know, kidnap dude, get the money for sending guy to prison for whatever reason. Or it's that they were on the same page, but she actually did cop feelings for him and then wanted to try and, like, not kidnap him. Something like that. And that caused some conflict with maybe, like, their third-party kidnapper.
Hold it!
How well did you know the victim? I've stuck with him only a few times at Lance's house. A few times? That's it? Yes. If they only met a few times, I don't see how they could have trusted each other. But if you hardly ever talk, then how could he trust you not to steal his plan? That's completely irrelevant. He was planning to betray her from the very beginning. Which is why he chose someone he wasn't especially close to, but why would she choose him? Isn't that right, Sheena? Oh shit, she talks. Yes, however, Mr. Deacon made a very poor choice. In the end, he was killed by the one he intended to betray himself. Hey, we could use another sidekick. We could have a full party of 4. That'd be pretty cool. We could go slay monsters or something instead of being with this guy. Come on. And I bet he didn't see that one coming. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage.
Hold it!
You knew? How did you know something like that? No, what should I do? Okay, what's wrong with her now? Come on, isn't it obvious? You're making your scary face again, that's why. Why don't you try asking her in a nicer, more gentle way? Does Edgeworth make a scary face? I mean, he does his death glare, but I wouldn't call that scary. Stop it, Lauren. You're always like this. You always fall for the stern-looking one. That's why you'll always be unhappy. Or maybe that's it. She's been bewitched by your icy glare. Mind your own business, Kay. Now then, Miss Pops, let's continue with your testimony. Yes, of course.
Hold it!
Why did you believe that? Anyone who knows Mr. Romano would think the same. I bet Lance is that old man's greatest treasure. I suppose he would be a doting father like Mr. Romano. Or would be to a doting father. I always figured that was it too, and I was always envious of Lance for it. Oh, because your dad's... dead. I got this pendant from my father. And I believe that as long as I have this, I'll find my father again someday. He'll welcome me into his arms riding on the back of a Pegasus. That pendant, you must truly believe it to be the wings of Pegasus.
Hold it!
Would you mind telling us a little about the plan itself? Well, first we captured Lance. How did you do that? Well, Mr. Deacon did that on his own, so I don't quite know. Bah, I thought you knew how to steal people away. I shudder to think what you would do with such knowledge. Sorry, I don't really know, but somehow Mr. Deacon was able to contain him. All we had to do after that was wait for the ransom to be paid, but...
Hold it!
Why do you think he did? I have no idea, but maybe he planned on doing so from the very beginning. His Pops... Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Pops in the beginning? Was that ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? I mean, I agree that it's unlikely, but do we have anything that proves that? Man, I don't think we really do. I mean, we have the evidence, we just need them to, like, lead us to it. It just seems like it would be a huge assumption to kind of try and pull out they're related thing. Even though we know it. Because even if she doesn't know that that was her dad, the dad would know that it was, you know, that's his daughter, right? What happens if I don't raise an objection? I shouldn't show my hand this early on. The rest of this testimony takes me first. I mean, the testimony's over. Yeah, I see kidnappers also weep when they get stabbed in the back. Even as you betray the one you claim to love the most. No, you don't understand. What's there to understand? What's wrong, Kay? I can't believe she was betrayed. I kind of feel sorry for her. I feel a little sorry for her too, however, I also wish she would tell us the whole truth. There's something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession.
Hold it!
Turned on me and tried to kill me. No idea, planned to do it from the beginning. Okay, but like, what is her role in the kidnapping scheme? That's another thing. Like, she hasn't done anything. That should be, can that be my objection? I'm sorry, but I don't think what you claimed is all that likely. Huh? I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been capable of killing you. But why? We were total strangers. It's not uncommon for people to kill each other over money. Miss Pumps, you really are clueless, aren't you? What do you mean? You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. Okay, so we are kind of jumping to that. But I don't know what single piece of, because it's not really a single piece of evidence. Because it could be the pendant, but like the pendant by itself doesn't mean anything. Okay, wait, what does it say on the, Okay, this does say his real name on here. So... the problem is that this by itself, I feel like, is not enough, but... because you need the pendant as well, so you kind of have to hope that you present this and then you can lead into the pendant. But they may be looking for the pendant and then want to use the dossier as proof. But like, you don't know which order they want it in. Because either by themselves is not enough, but I can't present both.
Take that!
You don't know, do you? Yeah, see... so I guess it's they want the pendant and then you use the dossier as proof, but... shit's so stupid. Unless I'm missing something. If that's what they want, it's stupid. But if they want something else, then... and I'm just missing it, it's whatever, but... take another good look at what's in my organizer? Yeah.
Hold it!
But then it's also like, which pendant? Do I use his pendant? Or do I use her pendant? I guess her pendant. I feel like that's because it's like, what do you think the D stands for?
Take that!
Okay, it is the pendant, which... that annoys me because the pendant by itself doesn't mean anything. So what about the pendant? A pair of wings along with this piece of... see, like...
Take that!
these two pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree? You're right, they're the same color and they're even made of the same material. I believe these two pendants are actually one. Yeah? Shall we give it a try? Wow, it's totally Pegasus. Why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's? You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be. No, this is not what this series is for. You have to spoon feed them everything. You can't just say, oh, this makes sense. I haven't been conditioned for that. I've been conditioned for, like, we know the answer, but we gotta spend an hour and a half before we finally get to it. So the two make a set. Huh, just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything. You lack imagination, Agent Long. Very well, I'll show you with this evidence. The piece of evidence that gives me, like... I like that it's a chain, but the chain should start from either end. Like... I kind of like what they're going for here, where it's like a rapid fire, like you present this, which ties into this, which ties into this. But you should be able to start from either end of the chain. Like, I should be able to use the dossier to say his real name was Colin, you know, Colin blah blah blah. He's got a wife and daughter. And then the pendants match. Because I'm used to, if I presented this pendant, they're going to say, what's the pendant got to do with anything? And then you're like, well, I have more evidence. And then they're like, no.
Take that!
Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Devourer, the name that is etched on the horse pendant. An alias? And suppose he had to hide the fact that he was a felon somehow in order to live. And it makes sense given what is written in Mr. Devourer's dossier. What I really wanted to point out was this. The specific section is what reveals the true meaning behind those pendants. A daughter, I guess.
Take that!
Mr. Devourer had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pops. That's a lie. That person was not my father. He couldn't come out and tell you it was your father because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. And you murdered him. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot? Ha 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 ha. And what is so funny, Agent Long? You're good at making up things in your head and deciding it's the truth, ain't you? Yeah, actually. What do you think I was doing with the whole justifying that you should be able to present the dossier first thing? What are you trying to say? Your thinking's much too innocent. After all, I've thought of another possibility. Is that so? Well, let's hear it. Why haven't we brought up where's the third kidnapper yet? Another possibility. Me, Agent Long's possibility. I grant you the two of them are father and daughter. Isn't it possible they both knew that fact? There's no coincidence the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amano. And the two of them made good use of their meeting to plan this little kidnapping. When you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well, I mean, honestly, I kind of agree. We don't necessarily know, like, if she's bad or not. I mean, the fact that she's taking the blame for it gives her the benefit of the doubt. Which kind of makes me lean more towards it's a fake kidnapping and she's trying to protect Lance, who she actually does care about. Because it just doesn't make much sense for her to take the fall here. Because maybe if it's like, you know, if she knew it was her, I don't know. So this is his version of how things might have been. You don't got any proof that either one didn't know their true relationship, right? I mean, they knowingly committed the kidnapping as father and daughter? That's right. As one really rotten family. Is that really what happened? I'd better take a long, hard look at the evidence. Okay, how do we know they don't know each other? Or that they didn't, or she didn't know that was her dad.
Hold it!
Precisely, and what father would ever willingly kill his own daughter? Probably I mean, not many, but more than you would hope, probably. I've seen a lot of things in my travels, and I can tell you that being related by blood is sometimes proof of nothing.
Hold it!
You think they knew? Yeah, I don't think only the victim knew. I think the girl realized it as well. They both knew who the other person was, and they had to pretend that they didn't. Because he was on the lam? You got it. The victim couldn't exactly go around flaunting who he was. Furthermore, no coincidence the reunited pair became involved in the house of a mono.
Hold it!
One is a butler and one is the friend of the son, you mean? They probably thought that was their best shot. Well, I mean, didn't it say she was like her friend since childhood? I think it's more likely that, you know, the dad was in the sphere of orbit of the family, the kids grew up together, and then she just stayed there either out of momentum, or the Amano dad, like, took her under their wing. Because we don't necessarily know what dude did to land in prison, like if it was he got fucked over by the company or if he took the fall for the company. Presumably maybe like a mix of the two, which is why he would want to try and get revenge. Is that what you honestly believe? Of course.
Hold it!
You mean that they plotted to commit this crime as blood relatives? Can you think of a better partner? They're certainly a clever pair. The butler and the girlfriend. No one would ever suspect that they were in fact family. Yeah, from the very beginning they painstakingly practiced those roles well. Like, what, do you think she started planning this when she was 9? Like, what the dude's been in prison until fairly recently, presumably. I don't think they actually say when... Yeah, they don't say when he escaped. Or how long he's been a tutor, now that I think about it. But I guess it is implied that it's been a while. But I don't think they gave like a year or anything for like how long he's been in that role.
Hold it!
I'm gonna be honest, nothing's jumping out at me right now. I believe you're being a bit too overconfident for someone with no evidence. Am I? Because I don't see you presenting any evidence to the contrary. Without evidence, we're stuck in a stalemate. Agent Long isn't wrong. His scenario is certainly a probable one. Better hurry up and do something or Lauren's gonna wind up looking really bad. I know, but first things first, is Agent Long's line of logic factually correct? The two of them really knowingly commit the crime as father and daughter? I will say, this is another benefit, to praise the game for a little bit, of like the change to the format from it no longer being in a courtroom. Like, him just coming up with some made up bullshit with no evidence whatsoever would probably piss me off if we were still trying to like even slightly pretend this is a courtroom situation. Because like, you know, because that is something that kind of always bothered me a little bit in the Ace Attorney games. Or bothered's not really the right word, but like how if you don't prove not guilty, it's automatically guilty, right? But it just be in a situation where it's like, hey, we're just trying to prevent her from being like arrested, where there's like a lower burden of proof. It kind of, it feels better to have the opposition just say some made up shit. And it being like, well, if you can't prove their made up shit is wrong, then, you know, we may as well go ahead and arrest them, as opposed to like, you know, convicting them. And it's like, if we fumble the bag and just keep saying a bunch of nonsense that's obviously not right, then they're like, we're just going to arrest her because you can't, you know, you're just wasting time. We'll deal with it later, as opposed to the lawyer's just kind of saying some nonsense and we're going to just assume the client's guilty automatically. I don't know. I mean, let's look through. So what are we trying to prove? We're trying to prove that they didn't know they were related. Okay. Yeah. So if they were looking... They were watching the family. I mean, granted, the thing is, we don't know the timeline here. So this is kind of like flimsy evidence, but... Because it could be like, yeah, they had him under surveillance for like a week after he escaped, but they're not going to be like, you know, it's been years and they're still, you know, hey, we gotta... somebody's gotta take the night shift. Also... I think somebody's just cooking something, but it also maybe smells like my apartment's on fire. 1 second. Okay, I believe it's just somebody in like the unit over is cooking some food, but it just got an unusual scent. It almost smells almost kind of like dust burning up, like a heater, but there's like a vague smell of spiciness. What were we doing? Okay, yeah. So I guess we'll... Nah, I didn't mean to do that. What does he say here? Butler and girlfriend from their painstakingly practice those roles well. But see, I don't really know, like, what line... Like, even if this is what they want, I'm not entirely sure what's the best spot for it. Okay, this is my heart of hearts says this line.
Objection!
Okay, never mind.
Not so fast!
Longji says you're a dummy. Confidence is like a soul, and words without confidence are but empty shells. You shouldn't waste your breath on words you have no confidence in. Just as bad to say something in full confidence and be wrong. You gotta let him lecture you about your self-confidence like that? I don't need to be overflowing with self-confidence. I just need to think rationally. Also, I guess we're gonna go long for this video because I don't have enough time to record a full second one. And also, videos might stop being daily going forward. Because recording time for the next like week or two is going to be a little limited, and there's not like a huge backlog. I think there's like 4 or 5 videos. I'm still feeling good. I feel like we've made good progress, since we'll probably finish up this chapter next video, or at least come very close, depending on how long it is. And then we'll only have 2 chapters left with, you know, a little over a month to finish things up. Or a little under a month to finish things up. What do you say here again? Being too confident with something with no evidence. 2 of them really knowingly commit the crime as father and daughter. They both knew that fact. Furthermore, why do I think they didn't know? Because of this bad badger helmet. I mean, I still feel like it has to be this. I think we put it on the wrong line. Age 50, pending autopsy. Victim was killed elsewhere. I mean, is it just because he's old? Because I mean, her not recognizing him makes sense. If you haven't seen someone since you were a kid, and you know they've gotten a little bit older. I guess I gotta try it again here.
Objection!
Eh.
Not so fast!
I have no clue what they want. Isn't it possible they both knew that fact? What about this picture of the Gatewater land? Does that change your mind? Oh yeah, gotta move it with WASDA. Lauren D is engraved into this pendant. I see they wrote her first name, but why just the D? Maybe it's the result of poor planning, I guess. Well, at least if I had to shorten my name, I could make it to K Faraday. That way, even if you just sounded it out, I'd still say my name, K Faraday. Got a little clogged up. I suppose if I had to do the same, it would also abbreviate it as M. Edgeworth. You could just be like back in the day when literally nobody ever spelled out their name. Because nobody wanted to be, you know, John. They're like, I'm gonna be Jay. If you ever, like, you know, look at, like, old signatures and stuff, it's like, or like, when, like, you would list, people would list their names in, like, important documents. It's, like, almost always just initials. Because nobody wanted to be known by, like, one of the 5 names out there. It was, like, more individuality by just going by your initials. Who would have thought this little pendant could stir up such a strange conversation? It's a pendant in the shape of a pair of wings. Has a rather nice aesthetic to it. Nice even you can appreciate its beauty. Things made of platinum silver tend to have a nice feeling about it, you know? I was only talking about its shape, Kay. Is that what you're talking about? But you know, talking about wing shapes, I think the brooch on my scarf is way cooler. That's not made of platinum silver, is it? It's handmade, okay? So I'm sorry, it's not made of the expensive stuff. She meant that by herself? It's incredibly well crafted. I'm not gonna say that out loud, though. Wouldn't want them to think I have feelings. With the eyes, I mean, there's a picture, but I feel like this is more like maybe evidence for why she would want to go for him. But there's a blue badger mobile. There's a victim's costume. There's a gun. There's Lauren. He's separated from a real father, Deacon. It's no coincidence the pair... Good use of their meetings. But, like, we don't know that they met. Stole a gun. Spider surveillance, he's yet to show up. But it doesn't say anything about his, like, why he was arrested or anything. We're just well, because there was that line about he flew away on the Pegasus or something. That's what they told her. I'm gonna be honest. I got no fucking clue what they want. Like, I guess we finally reached it. It took a while, but now I just gotta spam random bullshit because I have no earthly clue what the hell they want from me. If it's the dossier on this line, I'm gonna be pissed.
Objection!
I just gotta, because I feel like it's the only thing, so I gotta just rule it out on everything. I'm gonna be so annoyed if it's right, and it's just like, we're picking the wrong line. Recording mannerisms are worthless at a crime scene. Yeah. Okay, you dare insult the courts? I didn't realize that was different dialogue, but... We tried that one, and now it won't let me go forward. There it goes. I don't know why it does that. I just gotta try it on everything, because it's the only thing that I feel is even slightly related.
Objection!
this is a real deal. Okay. Did the two of them really knowingly commit the crime as father and daughter?
Hold it! Not so fast!
It's possible they both knew that fact. What about this gun? What about this pendant? Good use of their meetings. What do you mean? Plotted to commit this crime as blood relatives. Can you think of a better partner? The butler and the girlfriend. At the very beginning, they painstakingly practiced those roles. But, like, they... I already tried that. I have negative clue what they want. Okay, I guess we'll just try the pendants next.
Objection!
Because, I mean, we tried the dossier on every line and it... We did try it on every line, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Because now we're in the situation of like, maybe I just didn't present it on the right line. Maybe I thought I presented it on this line and I presented it on a different line and the dossier was right. But then it's like, if I present the dossier again on the same line, it's like, oh, you're a fucking dumbass. But I don't remember. Because I feel like, I don't know how many pips we have. Because if we tried it on every line, we should be down 6 right now. But we're only down 5, I think. Because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could be 6. Let's say 7, 8. So, I mean, if you have like 10, so yeah, we're probably down 6. So we probably did try it on every line. It's no coincidence the reunited pair became involved in the house of Amano. It's possible they knew that fact. Oh, that didn't even take our HP. That's kind of weird.
Objection! Not so fast! Objection! Not so fast!
I don't know. I have less than 0 clue what they want. And honestly, I'm not sure if it's that, like, I feel like I don't know what I'm missing, or if they're just being stupid. Like, I can't tell who's at fault here. Also, can I load, please? Wait. No, why is it? It's no coincidence the reunited pair.
Hold it!
And I can't present people, right? I cannot. Murder victim, felon. The Tinder Lender Loan Company. I mean, I feel like the letter's just later. Well, I guess we'll try the regular pendant on everything. I don't see how the letter's related at all. It's really not the dossier here, man? You sure? Because they were under surveillance. You sure, man? You sure it's not the dossier there? Their meetings. What meetings, man?
Objection! Knuckle back!
I almost forgot I had to click it. I guess we'll pause, because I'm literally just gonna randomly present it, because I have no earthly idea what they want.
Objection!
Oh, that was the wrong pendant. Fuck. Okay, we'll try this one last time. Oh wait, was that the right? I don't even know which pendant I fucking presented. What about the Badger family, huh? You ever think about that? Also, what about the third kidnapper?
Objection!
I think I just presented now.
Hold it!
Did the two of them knowingly commit the crime as father and daughter?
Objection!
All right. Shit's dumb as hell, man. It's the stolen costumes on the line about planning meetings. Yeah. Kind of wish there was a better piece of evidence for there being 3 kidnappers. I slightly get what they're going for, but like, I feel like the better line of logic would be, what meetings, brother? Kidnapping wasn't planned by just 2 people alone? Like, why is this, like, also, why has this not fucking been mentioned yet? What kind of proof do you have of that? Quite simply, there were 3 kidnappers. Which doesn't... The question is, did they know they were related? This has nothing to do with the line of dialogue. The line of dialogue is... They make good use of their meetings to plan the kidnapping. And then when you press him... I forget what he says. What does he say when you press him? It's some dumb shit. I can't... It won't let me bring up the options. What does he say when you press him on that line?
Hold it!
You mean how they plotted to pit the crime as blood relatives. Can you think of a better partner? They're certainly a clever pair. No one would suspect a thing. They painstakingly practice those roles well. And then you're like, there were 3 costumes. That's not the question. That's not what I'm trying to disprove. I'm trying to disprove something different. It's just it's so stupid. Oh, well, let me fast forward through it. Wait, what? Oh, did I go too far? Yeah, what kind of proof do you have? There are 3 kidnappers. 3 that were stolen. Found one of them in a kidnapper's hideout. As the other 3, we can assume they were being worn by 3 different people. We also found a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were... Like, that could have been good evidence, I feel. Or something. Like, as opposed to there's 3 costumes. Because the 3 costumes being stolen by itself doesn't mean that much. It clearly points to a 3-man group, which doesn't disprove his point. That they could have been in it together and known they were blood relatives. Like, this is completely superfluous to what he was saying. And I believe this 3rd person is the real mastermind. Like, you're just making shit up. There's no reason to believe... There's literally 0 reason to believe the 3rd person is the real mastermind. Now, what there is reason to believe is that whoever got shot, they thought they were shooting somebody else because they were in a costume. That should maybe be the way you want to attack it, which is kind of what I pursued for a little bit by presenting the costume, which is that it doesn't matter that they knew they were blood related or not, that the murderer thought they were killing somebody else. And then he's going, what do you mean somebody else? Then you bring in the 3 costumes. That would make more sense to me. If you bring in the idea that they wouldn't know who they were shooting because of the costumes. Who's the mastermind? I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping. Well, I mean, it's gotta be fucking what's his name?
Take that!
Lance Amano! This abduction was in fact schemed up by Lance himself. Do you got any proof? No. Literally not even a single shred of evidence. It just kind of makes sense. Recall what he said when he appeared before us. I don't know what this... I don't know if this man said a single word the entire time. Brother, this was fucking a week ago. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No. I didn't see their faces, but 2. One was a woman. Oh, okay, I do remember that. Now, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said. Maybe they wanted to sit in different seats. Maybe they're really coffee thirsty, you know? But I know I only saw 2 people. Guys being held hostage, just possibly couldn't see all 3 of them. Yes, about when you were being held, I have my doubts about what happened then. Lance, you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive? I don't remember much anymore, honest. If I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you? Whatever, man. Alright, we're gonna call it here, since that took so freaking long. Definitely the worst question in the game. Like, you know, it took a while, but we finally ran into some egregious Ace Attorney bullshit. It's a little less bad because I was kind of like despair mode. I still think it's a silly connection in relation to that line of dialogue. Especially that line of dialogue, like... Because it's still, like, we still haven't even addressed his point that they knew each other. Like, we just completely ignore it to say some other random bullshit with no real evidence. It's kind of silly, but whatever. At least it took, you know, 15 hours before we got to something truly tilting. Alrighty. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.